right, guys, here we go. Game number 5 in this semifinal. The winner will go on to face their opponent. It is who's going to be F91 to see who will become the light of China. And down in the lower right part of the map, we have our blue Terran player from the team World Elite. It is Loner. And in the top left part of the map, in the green, from Invictus Gaming, we have our Zerg player who seems to have figured out already how to play against Loner's mech style. It is Invictus Gaming's IG.Xigua.
That's right. So IG.Xigua versus Loner, game number 5. The winner of this moving on to play F91 to decide who is going to be brought out to IPL5 from our Chinese regional. Loser of which will go on to the 3rd place match. We're not going to be broadcasting that because we're already broadcasting 2 best-of-5s and a best-of-7 tonight, and we do like to eat and sleep. So,
well, eating I do like to do. Sleeping is useful.
Yeah,
but something that I tend to skip on occasion.
Yeah, it does happen. Gamer lifestyle, I suppose.
Yep, that's right.
And of course, as we already know, the winner of the set is going to take on a Zerg player in F91. So we're either going to have a ZVZ or a TVZ best-of-7 finals. And we'll see who it's going to be. Loner looked great in games number 1 and 2, but IG.Xigua's come back strong in 3 and 4. Yeah,
either way, I think it's going to be a very interesting set in our final match here today. And will the drone see the barracks?
No, he's actually already leaving. If he ducks a little bit farther on, he would see it.
Oh, man, so close. What a great place to put that barracks, actually.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's awesome.
Well, so IG.Xigua now doesn't know where it's at. Oh, he's going to find it.
Yep, he found it.
There we go.
Aha.
Aha, aha. It's a barracks.
I found your barracks. Aha.
Aha, aha.
That's right.
Get into the Mach 5. Chim chim. Aha. Anyway.
Hatch first from IG.Xigua on the other side of the match, too. He's going to be able to harass a little bit. Oh, no, the drone trap barely escaping.
Yes.
Going back in for more. It's like, well, it's like, you want some of this?
That's gutsy.
Wow, no kidding. Oh, that drone.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to work out too well. So,
it's like I have to escape.
I think he wanted to check for gas one more time, though, and see if he's going to be able to stop the construction of the command center. It looks like this drone just down to 8 hit points won't be able to stop it for very long.
Just wants to be very annoying.
Is he just lifting? Oh,
yes,
okay.
Yes, okay.
I was like, oh, God, no, more barracks. No, he's just lifting.
There is also another way that you can go into mech builds by putting a wall of 3 barracks across the front of your ramp. In fact, that's exactly what we saw someone do. Gumiho, that's who it was, just the other day in Team Arena Challenge, I believe it was.
Yep, versus TSL. It was on this map as well.
Yep, that's right. He was in the top position, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
So that could be what IG.Xigua, or what Loner rather, is doing. Getting those first 2 gas quickly, though, so I think we are going to see just a Banshee opening again.
And, back to the map, of course, with the Mars TV logos. The giant one in the middle. Oh, God.
It's stimmed. That's the stuff.
That's right. I'm enjoying this StarCraft 2 with Brood War sound effects, though, I have to say.
It's kind of fun. I mean, I do like the sound effects in StarCraft 2 as well, but for nostalgic purposes, it's always kind of cool to go back, a little bit and listen to the sounds that we all kind of grew up with in terms of StarCraft fandom.
And IG.Xigua does have his bailing speed on the bailing speed. Wow, that would be incredibly early. Zergling speed on the way. Double queens for now, but nothing really is an indicator of what he wants to do. Up to this point, he has been going for quad gas with a 3rd at about the same time as he takes layer tech and then goes into Spire, something like that right afterwards. Would not be too surprised to see just that again.
Did you ever notice that there's like a beating heart inside of the oh, look at that bunker placement. Interesting. Did you notice that there's a beating heart inside of the spawning pool? Check it out. Zoom in. Can you zoom in?
I can't.
But see, yeah, you can see it beating a little bit.
Huh. Interesting.
There you go, yeah.
The more you know.
I know. All these Zerg buildings have these little kind of like hidden things. I actually didn't notice that until like right now. But I'm like, did you know? Like I did, but I didn't.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, you could have sold it to me. You could have been so knowledgeable.
What would you
for
have
everything
paid
StarCraft related in the future?
Well, you should anyway.
Well, now I just can't.
Oh.
It's a farce.
Oh well. Well, I did notice that.
Very good.
So there you go.
Well,
Banshees.
It is going to be Banshees, and it could very well be Cloaked Banshees as well, because he is going to have enough gas when this eventually does switch. Or when I said Cloaked Banshees, I did mean tanks with siege mode.
Huh.
And a 3rd command center.
Okay. Okay, this is cool. So, oh, that's not so cool, though. The bunker is being protected, but still, I mean, Zerglings can potentially do some damage to that bunker. Is it going to be repaired? Instead, he's just going to run Zerglings into the main instead. Obviously, the ones at the natural not doing a lot of damage. Going after that tech lab. The SCV's coming off the line to try to defend, but it doesn't look like they can.
Wow.
Oh, that is going to slow Loner down quite a bit. First tank coming out.
You notice that
not going to siege.
That bunker position was perfect had he had the top walled.
Yeah.
Because he took almost no damage on that bunker, was able to kill a ton of lings.
Yeah, exactly.
But as it stands now, unfortunately, he just ended up losing. Well, his tech was really reset.
Yeah, that was pretty rough, man. I mean, that's just the danger that you face as a Terran player right now in this matchup. You know, if your opponent does get a gas very early on, goes for that quicker Zergling speed, they can make a decent amount of Zerglings to come out on the map, try to do some damage to you at your natural expansion. It doesn't look like IG.Xigua's done yet.
Yeah, he may move in with a few more in just a second.
We'll see.
And just like we said before, layer tech and third hatch coming up at the same time, so IG.Xigua is not deviating from this plan at all. But we're probably going to see that spire just as soon as that layer tech is done.
Yeah, you know, if it isn't broken, don't fix it. Oh, the spawning pool is not really a factor in this. I was talking about the supply depot, which is down again.
It's already been a long cast. It's our 10th game, so.
I know, I'm doing fine. Don't worry. Oh, the tank.
That's right.
Not taking any damage. Only top-tier casting from Doa today.
That's right. You just say things, and the
that
opposite
refinery,
will happen. The opposite
the Zerglings running past it.
That's right.
So the tank.
Oh, the
not
tank
taking damage again.
Killing yet another Zergling.
The mule landing, mining.
That's right.
Feeling delightful.
Oh
man.
Opposite of Emo Viking.
Oh, the tank. Finally finishing off the last of the Zerglings. I feel like I should have a book of StarCraft poetry, and one of them would start with, oh, the tank.
Oh, the tank, finishing off the last of the Zerglings. Does Daniel Day-Lewis pop up in that as well, or is that?
I don't know. You know, Robert Frost's Oh, the Siege Tank. Classic. I had to study that one in junior high.
Yeah, I did too. Thought it was kind of slow, honestly.
You know, I just looked up the cliff notes on Oh, the Tank when I had to write the report on it, so yeah. I admit, I didn't put a lot of effort.
Yeah, that's true. So, well, more Zerglings coming in now, as they'll be able to pick off at least a couple of SCVs. They do get one and a mule, so not too bad. They're actually killing a couple of workers. So, IGNPro just continuing to be annoying with these.
How many drones does he have, though?
He's pulling slowly farther and farther ahead, so it's worked out pretty well for him.
Yeah, what's the drone count again for IGNPro? 57s, yeah, pretty, well, not really low, but a little bit lower than you'd normally want to be. I kind of question if some of those later little Ling attacks were really worth it, but, you know, we'll see what happens. He's a little bit low on drones, but if he does kind of play it just July Zerg style and just kind of try to go for a lot of damage, go for the kill right away, he could potentially take out Loner at a timing that he's not expecting, but those drones at the third base are going to get a bit singed.
This one was just confused. He was like pulled off the line. Then he was, do I attack? No. Go mine gas? I don't understand. There are 9 mutas on the field, though, with the 10th on the way and +1 attacks coming up. So reinvestment back into that economy as well. He's going to be well into the 60s here in just a second. So IGNPro's still in a pretty good place. Loner, of course, is still producing his SCVs off of 3 bases. Or 3 orbital commands, so he's not going to be too far behind in terms of overall worker count, but doesn't have much of a response for a lot of this anti-air.
Thor.
Unless he just gets a miracle splash damage shot from the Thor.
Man, he could magic box and kill it, but those mutas have taken a lot of damage. They want to be a bit careful there as well. There is also a missile turret and another Thor about to pop up too, so the damage that these mutalisks will be able to do is going to be a bit minimal. It depends on the angle that he attacks from. This angle at the natural could do okay, but no, there's a missile turret there as well. Loner, he knows how to play mech, man. I mean, you know, when you play mech, one thing you really need to get good at is placing your missile turrets in the exact right spot. Usually you start out with 1 or 2 in each mineral line and then 1 by your production facilities in your main. And that's exactly what we see Loner doing. Now he's adding on some more around the outside, but yeah, you got to pay attention to where you put your missile turrets.
That's right.
No.
Oh, man, taking another splash damage shot there, but he is able to stop the construction of the missile turrets for quite a while. Kills 3 SCVs as well for the loss of 1 Mutalisk.
Yep, that is correct. And we do have Hive on the way fairly quickly for IGNPro, so probably going to see a greater Spire, I would have to imagine. Some very quick Brood Lords as well. A lot of Zerg players do like to go for very quick Brood Lords, but normally they just harass with a few Roaches and play more defensive. They don't usually add Mutalisks into this, so it's an interesting kind of spin on that from IGNPro.
And this is akin to that Stefano-style ZVT as well. You know, that very quick, ultra-high tech, getting up to the Greater Spire very quickly. Yeah. Now, IGNPro has tended to stay on Roaches and Infestors a little bit longer than most whenever he gets up to that Hive tech, but is able to transition over to it pretty quickly. Looks like we are going to have a 4th command center coming up for Loner, but the 4th base is already finished for IGNPro.
Yep, And Loner, you know, he needs to be a little bit careful at that third. I believe he only has 2 Thors there, and there are enough Mutalisks to potentially cause some problems. And yeah, it looks like he is just going to do it. All right, yeah, he's just basically saying, you only have 2 Thors. I'll let you shoot me after I clump up as well. So, wow, Xigua making a good decision to go after that tank, but then just not really controlling the Mutalisks very well, taking some extra damage that he didn't really need to.
And Xigua going up to a 5th base as well. So this playing out pretty similarly to the last game in a lot of respects. I mean, Loner stuck on 3 bases for the time being. He'll be able to produce a powerful army, but it's really what is he going to be able to do after that? Once again, we see the Ultralisk Cavern coming down. Xigua did this in the last game too, and then ended up producing the Greater Spire when that was about halfway finished, so we had a lot of flexibility, but
that's
still
good.
Very crazy.
That's good, man. I mean, that's what Ultras are for. They're for scaring your opponent, trying to get them to change what they're doing so that your Broodlords are that much more effective. So definitely a map that you can do that on. Ohana is very wide open. Ultralisks can usually get a pretty good surface area against any army that's out around the map. I'll have to see when Loner decides to move out.
It's got that vehicle weapons level 2 coming up now, and starting to add in those Banshees for DPS once again. And there's the Greater Spire. So pretty much everything that we saw last time. So unfortunately running into an enormous siege tank line, though. Yeah,
look at that. 2 starports on the way right now for Loner. So he's not going to waste any time in getting that Viking production started. Doesn't want to get caught unawares by those Broodlords. And that's kind of another tenet of mech, is that you can, you know, move out with that strong Marine, or not Marine, Hellion Thor tank mix, you know, if you can hit the proper timing. But if you can't quite do that on a big map like Ohana, you need to be ready for the Broodlords to come too.
And Loner setting up some potential planetary fortresses here outside of his 3rd to make sure that he is going to remain absolutely safe. And he is just playing the very turtley style of Terran to a hilt now. So another orbital command finishing up. He's got that's actually an orbital command as well, so it's just going to close off some of the distance. He'll actually be up to 5 orbital commands here momentarily, so he'll be able to start sacking some SCVs pretty early on in this game. It's ridiculous, though. I mean, think of StarCraft a year and a half ago. Would you have even imagined that we'd see this much stuff on the field at 17 minutes in the game?
Yeah, I mean, the macro of the players, just the skill level has increased so much. I can't wait to see where it is, you know, a year from now, 2 years from now. I mean, Heart of the Swarm is obviously going to reset this to a certain extent as players get more comfortable with the new units and the new strategies, but it's just great to see. I mean, we're going to start that much farther ahead once Heart of the Swarm comes out, and things are just going to be awesome.
Yeah, so for now, though, Xigua with a good number of Ultralisks up, and it looks like he's going to send a few Zerglings up to immediately get destroyed. Does see those command centers off to the side, though. Xigua had only dropped over a couple of drones, so not a huge amount of economic damage is going to be done, and those Hellions are going to be dispatched up pretty quickly.
Yep. And let's see. Oh, there's the 2nd Spire. Okay, so he will be able to get a decent amount of upgrades then going for those Broodlords as well. 2 Spires, very common, and drops on the way as well for Xigua. So another little option that he may or may not choose to use. We'll see.
And looks like this command center taking a fair bit of damage. The remaining Mutas still proving to be very, very annoying. And Loner just taking enough time to destroy the destructible rocks before he ends up moving up here. Oh, and it looks like Xigua is kind of laying in wait. Is he going to assault this? Oh, this is a very small portion of Loner's army. A lot of it is sitting down towards the bottom. Oh, actually even neuroparasiting a couple of Thors there so we can use them against them. Very well done. The Ultralisk not going to get the greatest surface area now. Oh, except the Thors kind of walked down the side, so they were able to kind of wrap around and get a much better engagement there. That actually would have been very bad for Xigua, but a little bit of a mistake out of Loner in moving those forces back the way he did.
And one last neural parasited Thor, able to do a lot of damage. Oh, he killed the Banshee with the Thor.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, I love it. That is so great. And Loner pulling away, or after taking a lot of damage, Xigua did a great job of engaging that. If you notice what he did there, he engaged that exactly how you need to. He fungled the Hellions so that he could get the Ultras in there really quick, kill the Hellions off fast, and that allowed the Roaches and the Ultralisks to then get in on the tanks and the Thors and kill them very, very quickly, because without those Hellions there, everything else dies pretty fast.
Bunch of air upgrades coming up as well. These Hellions going to try and run by and do some damage, but there's enough spine crawlers there and really not a lot of units to kill, to be honest. So, oh, good job fungling and pinning those down. Hellions are destroyed. Loner trying to take another base, finally clearing up that Zergling. Did take quite a while. Missed the position on it as well.
There we go. All right. That's perfect. Okay. Big attack, though, from Xigua coming in. Here come the Ultralisks. Does he have enough? Doesn't want to tangle with that siege tank line right now.
Not yet.
Look at that. Down the right part of the screen, he's actually taking the only other expansion on the map. He's not going to let his opponent have that one.
That's right. And these Mutalisks are actually doing a pretty cool thing and clearing up a couple of add-ons, so just continuing to be very annoying.
You know,
Loner, though, still does have a very strong frontline engagement force.
You know, that base that he actually took in the bottom right, he doesn't even necessarily need to mine from that. Spending 300 minerals to keep your opponent from having that base for that long as it would take to kill the hatchery, wait for the creeper seed, you mine from it a little bit, reduce the mineral count, it's perfect. And
which Overlord is it in? All of them.
I think it's in 3 of them. There might be more. Oh, we're about to see Ultralisk drops. Oh, I love these guys, man. I wish they could all come to IPL5.
This has been a really fun set, I have to admit. This has been one of the better sets we've actually had on IPL.
How does that even work? How does science make that possible?
I don't understand things. Zergs defy science, apparently. Well, 5 Ultralisks inside of your base is pretty good. At the same time, we're going to see Xigua actually go around the left-hand side as well and clear up these command centers that are being constructed.
Wow.
The production's starting to be capped. Most of the add-ons are gone. These Hellions are going to do bupkis against the Ultralisks. So
well, they've got them, I guess, like
lined up as best as possible.
Hellion versus Ultralisk. Place your bets.
That's right. So Loner, unfortunately, with all of his Thors off to the left-hand side, and the Ultralisk just proving to be so effective. The Hellions finally win after losing about 30 of them, and Xigua has put his opponent in a really bad spot.
Yep, and he burrows. Wow.
That's awesome.
All right, well, there's something you don't see every day. And wow, Loner's like, where to go? I guess I killed it. You know, he could have legitimately thought that he killed it, too, if his attention wasn't being paid to that moment.
That's right.
That particular moment, yeah.
Slayer Ultralisk going to pop up again in just a second. So now, Xigua has gone over. Oh my god, and his opponent just made 4 siege tanks at the same time. We see another 7 Corruptors and 5 Broodlords pop up for Xigua, doing exactly the right transition at exactly the right time.
This is exactly what you do with Ultras. You make your opponent worry about Ultralisks, right? And now that he is, now Xigua's ready to attack with the Broodlord Corruptor force.
Did Loner ever think he'd be sieging up his opponent's base from inside of his own main? There's the real question.
Yeah. Well, on certain maps, yeah, you do that. But those maps are generally not seen in tournament play.
Well, Broodlord's going to start rolling forward, and these planetary fortresses are going to be a pretty good buffer, but I don't know if they're going to be enough. These Thors are going to take quite a while to go through all of the Broodlords that are in the air.
Yep, and here comes this siege by Xigua, firing with those long-distance Broodlords at those planetaries. The planetaries will eventually go down. Loner, how many Vikings does he have? A decent amount, but the Corruptor count is just too high.
Yes. The Corruptor count is too damn high.
That's right, although that's a lot of Thors, man. I mean, when you have enough Thors, it's going to do a lot of damage versus air, even if it's not really intended to.
That's right, all he needs to do is land 1 or 2 fungal growths. Misses, just hits 1 Viking there, but if he can land a couple more of those, he will be A-okay. Misses again, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, the Vikings do have to get a little bit away from the rest of the army, so yeah, we've got a bit of a stalemate on our hands right now. I mean, Xigua able to kind of siege that up, but not really able to move too much farther forward.
Yeah, this
needs to be careful.
Crazy set, I have to say. Planetary Fortress is going to fall, but there is still 1 more remaining, and unfortunately, these infestors haven't been able to do too much. Broodlord surviving with just 1 hit point. Doesn't go down to that splash damage volley. I don't even know how it's staying alive. Finally does go down.
There we go. Everything's right with the world again. And does Xigua have the army to take this out? It's going to be pretty close. Loner has a good Viking count, and they are well spread out, but the Corruptor count is just enough that it looks like the air advantage is going to go to our Zerg player.
Oh my god, and the Fungals on the ground, I can't overstate how good those were, because they did take out a ton of
Manor Lords.
Wow, that's a lot of Broodlords over the top of those forces.
It's called a Manor Lord when you do that.
I like it, though.
That's right.
It's cute.
Well, Vikings firing at some of the remaining Corruptors. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I should probably just kill this first before I morph those in.
And doing a pretty good job of that. Could morph him in again in just a second if he wants to. That being said, though, what's going on at the other bases? Xigua still has this base really well defended. A few units are rolling through the middle of the map. They'll get torn up by these Zerglings here in just a second. Well, if he wants to. Xigua is actually 100 supply ahead of his opponent. It looks like Xigua was down 0-2, and it looks like he's going to come back and win 3 games in a row to take the set.
Yeah, Loner's got to be kicking himself a little bit for that, but Too late now. Sorry, Loner.
That is right. So Xigua, incredibly well done here. He just needs to continue pushing forward. I mean, I'm not really sure what Loner can do at this point. He's going to try and sit around the planetary fortress. And it's the point where he engages, but there's still enough corruptors that they're able to start whittling down the Vikings ever so slowly. And the Broodlords are just winning the fight in the air.
Yeah, good fungal on some of those Hellions as well, keeping the Infestors safe. More Corruptors coming in. It actually still is a fairly close fight here. But yeah, the Corruptor count, again, just seems like it's barely going to be enough.
That's right. So Planetary Fortress does go down. These missile cards are going to be sieged up here in just a second. There's the GG.
Wow.
Xigua came back from down 0-2 to advance into the finals and face F91 to see who is going to make it to IPL5.
That's